Let's get into this. It has been a minute. Let me put my drink over here so I don't spill it. My dudes. Let's get this out of here. Let's get into this. What are you guys doing? Going live. We are going to get into some testing here. Let's get this plugged in. Make sure. What's up, boys and girls, ladies, and dude? We got to get this plugged in. Went live a little early. We're just going to get the tester plugged in. We're going to do the 3070 and the 3090 power testing. We didn't get to it on the previous live stream. We got to the 3060 only, but I want to get the other two done before we can start to get these into rigs because they're just kind of sitting here. BBT Todd is upstairs building out a new 14-card case for us so we can go live tomorrow. What do you guys for that? These over here and the riser over here. Point this the right way. Machine like so. And we can get it plugged in. What's up, boys? Let's bring this up. How's it going? You guys hear me? Get some people on here. I didn't even send out a message that I was going live. Hopefully some people find this. Hopefully it's sent a tweet to let you guys know. I've been working on the Ethereum model, getting ready for Friday. There is a lot of fun comments coming in from the community that burn that supply. It's not about the miners. It's all good, man. Well, I'll have I think a good compelling argument that I think there's a way to get EIP 1559 in as it is with a reward adjustment to the block reward that will offset some of it. It'll lock in an emission schedule. It'll take the edge off the impact, and they can ship 1559 hopefully sooner than later then. But we'll see. I have a pretty good model, I think, that's going to show the risk if they don't do that. And then we're going to see if Ethereum community is a gambling community or if they're a reasonable community that looks at data and goes, you know what, it's probably not worth risking a $500 billion network for some game theory stuff that we believe it's going to be okay, and we're going to pay for the least amount for security. But we'll see. We'll see how the data looks and if it makes sense for them. What is going on, my dudes? So, anybody that was joining last week, or sorry, not last week. Anybody that joined the live stream 2 days ago saw that we did this card right here. So we did the 3060 Ti. We got the numbers behind us right here. They're in the new mining spreadsheet, and we'll bring the mining spreadsheet up on this box when I get it booted up here. And what I've done is I've taken all the historical data from cards that I've tested when I was doing the prog POW testing. I've imported that data into the mining spreadsheet. I should have put it as a link below in the description here. It will be added after this. You guys are more than welcome to go out and look at a previous video and you'll see that spreadsheet. But the data from the 3060 Ti is out there, so you know what the riser power and all that is, and the settings that we used on this to achieve 62 mega hash at a pretty decent wattage. And then we got the 3070, RTX 3070 here. This is the Zotac Gaming Edition here. And then we have the 3090 here, which is what I'm going to probably start with tonight. This is the 3090, 24 gig. And then we got the Sapphire Nitro 6900 XT. And we got several of these. And I'm going to do a different test with this when it comes to putting a pair of these in and trying to go for a world record in the Time Spy, which is 3D Mark. But I mean, ultimately, we're going to end up putting like 5 of these in a machine because it's about the only cards we could buy. So, and break that spreadsheet, somebody says. Yeah, so I fixed the spreadsheet. So I did not do a live stream last night. I was meaning to do a live stream with you guys last night, but I was working. BBT Todd and I were working on fixing the spreadsheet to where we weren't blowing through the API calls. We were blowing through roughly 130,000 API calls like over a 2-day period. And it was just too expensive. So we had to rewrite the entire back end to where now we're caching the majority of the information in a single call. And then we're using some scripting to paste in the values. So we effectively make like a single call for what we were doing like 18 times. So it's like an 18-to-1 flip around. And then we put a timer on it. So it's not every time every individual was opening the sheet. We're seeing about 6,500 people use the sheet a day, different IPs. So that's pretty interesting. So it's it might turn into a website at this point. I mean, that's enough traffic to justify building it into like a proper website. And I think as long as we're providing unique, relevant data that's around mining, I think we'll get it. So, all right, my dudes, let's get this plugged into the riser. We're going to run the meter on it. We're going to bring this up just a little bit more because I think it won't be on the camera unless I do. We'll check the other cameras here in a second. And we'll get this started up. I don't know why I have this vest on. I'm going to take it off. I was outside. So BBT Todd right now is outside. Luckily, it's not too cold. And you can see probably right this side of me. We are designing a rig, a multi-tiered rig, and our dimensions of that rig, and how many feet we had to go to get material. And we're going to be stacking. We're going to be putting these 14 GPUs that we have here in that rig. And that's what tomorrow's stream is. So a 14 card mining rig with 5 6900 XTs, 4 RX 3090s, 5 or 6 3070s, and then the remaining are going to be 3060 Ti's. So it's going to be 3070s, 3090, 3060 Ti, and 6900 all one rig. So, and then we'll take that back up to the farm, have that running. BBT Todd coming down. You do the cuts? I'm live. That was quick. You gonna get past me? There is another table upstairs if we want to set up like a table down here, or I think it might be in there. Do you like the flat floor better? Well, I guess as long as we don't drill through the floor, it's good. Yeah, we're not gonna drill through. What's going on, Joe? How's it going, buddy? Welcome. BBT Todd brought down a whole bunch of angled aluminum and stuff down here. And we're making sure that we get it set up like a boss. So yeah, let's get into this. So I'm going to get this plugged in. So this is going to be the 3090. We're going to do the 3090 testing real quick first. Again, we're measuring both Raven and ETH on power draw from the riser. And we're going to test it with different settings. And the main thing is for this is to ensure people understand if you just plug in your 3090 and you start hashing away and you make no changes on the settings, what are we actually dealing with here from a power pull standpoint? This really also is good for people that have it just plugged into their machine into the slot. You can actually see how much that slot's having to how much it's getting beat up when you don't mess with your power settings. This is my network cable. I don't know why it's way over there. Let's get this plugged in. We're going to try to cut through this pretty quick so we have the data. And it also helps us on the planning on the building of this 14 card rig because it gives us the understanding on the power side. Good day from down under. What time is it in down under? It's the next day. Should be plus 12? Plus 16. So you're the next day in the morning, right? 7 a.m.? 9 a.m.? All right, we'll see here. We need network TV connection. HDMI will go in here. I did find my lemonade. I forgot I had poured that big glass of tea over here. 2 p.m. I've totally messed that timing up. I'm thinking of Dubai. Do all GPUs need tinkering, or can some of them run at stock? All of them, if you're mining Ravencoin, you want to tinker. Actually, all of them. All algorithms do not need to run the GPUs at full power. You're just wasting power. Feb 25th, 1 p.m. in Brisbane. Nice. The next day, 1 p.m. in the afternoon. It's hot there now, right? Though you guys are in your summer. Is that right? Hello from Venezuela. How's it going, my dude? It's definitely warm down there. All right, that's all plugged in. 3090's plugged in. Again, for people that are not tracking what we're doing, I'm going to turn this on here and then we'll let it boot up, and then we'll... Oh, that's a pretty looking card. Let's get the cards here. So as we're letting that boot, this is the GPU we're working on right now. So it's the Zotac Gaming Trinity 24 gig 3090. So this is the one that's in there right now for if you guys are trying to track which GPU we're working on. 23C in Melbourne. That's not cold. 73. It's not too bad. 73 Fahrenheit. It's 3 a.m. UK. Sorry for you UK bros doing a late stream like this. Let's make sure video is good there. We're missing a very vital piece, my dudes. Let me turn this off. It helps if you have no video to check that you plugged in the riser, which I did not do. The best of us, my dudes. Here we go. How about that? Let's try that again. Oh, we got video in the bottom right-hand corner. 4 a.m. Is it Siberia? Landon, nice, bro. You got some cold weather up there, bro. Those rigs are loving that cold weather. 5 a.m. in Romania. Got some folks from Bolivia. I think it's only, what is it, about 35 outside right now? 35, 40. That's Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So it's what, like 9, 8 C? When is BTC going to hit 1 million predictions? I would say by the next halving is my short pull. Definitely within the second halving. This 2 more from now. It could easily pull into the 500s, I think. All right, I think we're up. So again, we're going to be testing the 3090 from Zotac. Let's get these out of the way for a second here. I'm going to put Sapphire here. There's Zotac here. That one out of my way for I can actually use a mouse. And we're going to get into doing some quick testing. I'm going to try to capture the data behind me. And again, this data, so any of the things that I'm capturing are in the BBT mining sheet. That link will be placed in the bottom of this video in the description. However, if you want to go out and look right now while we're doing this, you can go to the if you look up any of the last few videos in the description, you should have a link to that. And inside there is a GPU analysis tab, and there has all of the data that we're going to be capturing today. So you can help let people know where to go to get it until I go out there and update the description below here. So let's go to the screen, which this is the testing machine, and let's go out real quick and make sure that it went out there and found that Zotac. And I see it in there, the 3090. Let's get the latest version of GPU Z2. I want to capture some temperatures. There's one thing I didn't do in the last video is capture a lot of GPU temperatures and junction temperature. Actually, I'm not even going to do that one. I'm going to actually do, let's do info 64. That is hardware info 64. Now this is going to let me have, when it's running, it's going to give me some more data on the actual pull, the temperatures, and all that fun stuff. What happened to the no transition sound? Oh my God, that's right. We forgot to do that. Todd. Yes, I was supposed to turn that off. You guys not hear it anymore? Or do you hear it still? How much did we pay for this card? We paid 1,800 or 18, almost 1,900 after everything was all said and done. 1,900 bucks on the 3090s. Alex Drew said that he had set up the same card, 235 watts, 150, 850 to the memory, negative 100 to the core. Nice, my dude. We'll see what we can do. Make sure we see everything with this. Oh, we don't need to do that. Here, we'll download the latest. Continue downloading. Let's run the latest one just in case if it has problems with the 3090. Let's close this one. Bring this out, create shortcut. There we go. Okay. Make sure we get down here and see the GPU. We do. Here we go. Got the wattages. We got the two temperatures right here. And that's what we're going to want to see when we're running it. I want to see if it temp throttles or anything like that. Okay. Now we already have the stuff to play around with the settings. Let's get the T-Rex. That's what we were using. CUDA 11. Great shortcut here. Okay. Now, first test on this is going to be everything's plugged in, no change in settings, and we're getting the baseline on all the numbers. So we're leaving it as is. We'll check temps. We'll check base performance. We're going to make sure everything's set to stock, which it is. No setting changes here. You guys can see. And let's bring it up. So 3090 E-test. Sure we're using the same thing. Here we go. Okay. There we go. You know what? I must have used a different one than two miners, but that's okay. It took a second for it to go. And it might be running a Windows update or something, why it's running so slow. So our base, let's take a look at our power first. So we'll go back to the live scene and we'll look at the power. All right, let's see. 367. We get a 367. Full system wattage. Now this thing runs about 40 watts, so that's 327. It's actually about 359, but when we're at 105, I'm gonna bring you back to where you guys can see the screen real quick. Now again, this is no change to anything. This is just the card running as it is. So 105. Card's spinning up its temperature. I can still hear the fans going. We're seeing junction temperatures at 104 C with nothing changed. Junction temperatures at 106 C. What's that? 105.6. Junction temperature still holding 106 C, which is pretty hot. Okay, and now let's check riser power and all that right now. So let's see. Full power. Okay, so GPU power. This is the 12 volt rel. That's coming. The two twin 12 volt rels coming off. That's 182 of that. And 189, 191, 192. It is almost 100. Holy, that's a lot coming from that riser, my dudes. Look at that riser power. I should have had it guys figured out. So that is what the riser right now. $95 watts coming just from the riser. This would absolutely nuke if you're running a SATA-based power and you do not change that. That is cray-cray. 96. Let's call it 189 and then 96 on the riser. We're at 108 junction temperature. Let's go back to the screen. That's the most I've ever seen on a riser. The 3090 just... So you guys can see the junction temperature had a maximum of 108. It's currently at 1. It's stepping the card down. We're still at 106 hash rate. But still, okay. Yes, the 6-pin is powering the riser. Direct 6-pin from the PCIe rel is plugged in. So the GPU PCIe 6-pin is what's powering the riser right now. So that's pretty aggressive. So we're gonna shut that down. And let her cool down. Look how junction temperature drops pretty quick. Look at that. 76 C, 74, it'll calm her down. Now let's start playing with some numbers. Let's just go straight to 700. Let's go to minus 100. And let's take this big boy down some. Let's take it down to 85 in the power limit. SATA is okay for one SATA on the entire strand as long as you are running that at a 1350 to 1400 core at about 800, no more than 800 millivolts. You will pull about 46 watts from the riser doing that on the 5700. which is more than acceptable for a single SATA riser. But if you can do any 6 pins, it's worth doing the 6 pins. But if you're in a situation where you can only use the SATA, it's only one card per strand, and you have to be running your millivolts and your core down. Even on Kapow on Ravencoin, you can't give it the beans and overclock the core heavy and then give it a lot of juice, because you're going to burn up your riser. You're going to burn up your SATA port. So, all right, let's set this. I want to make sure let's see if it's stable. So let's go right into this and see with ETH. Again, we're going to try RVN also with this. And see that junction flying back up. We're definitely going to have to do some thermal pads on these. So we're getting 114 so far. Let's take a look why it's leveling the hash rate here. And take a look at the my mouse is jumpy. All right, let's go right to the live stream and look at the full power. So full power now. Right here. I hope you guys can see it. Still 350. Still 350 watts. And let's go to the riser. Well, we're down to 88 watts on the riser. And $173 on the 12 volt. So still quite a bit. And it's slowly cycling down, it looks like. It peaked at 114, but we would see what it was going to. Still quite a bit of power. We're going to take a minus 500. We're going to take this way down. 65%. $850. And let's see performance on that. Yes, the thermal pads are terabad. They're going to have to be replaced on all the cards. Let's see what we're looking at here. So we went as high as 112C on that junction temperature. Which is really, really high. Let's see what kind of numbers we get out of this. We're at 86 junction temperature, but let's see what the hash rate drops to. So we're keeping the junction temperature down. Dropped it quite a bit, 77 so far. Well, let's let that run and see if it actually changes it any. Full system. Full system at 270 watts. So we went from about 350 to 270. And now 12 volt rail down to 140. Let's just call it 140. And riser down to 72 watts. Okay. I think we starved it a little too much. But we're trying to find the balance to get the riser, not trying to start nuclear winter on the riser here. Let's go back here. So that was about 77 mega hash. Let's take this down to 58%, but let's bring the core back up to minus 100. And we'll keep that at 850 on the other. I want to see how much that power limit's really starving it out, but I'm trying to find we're going to stair step until we find where the card starts to tilt for performance. We're starving it so far down, and 58 might not even function here. Let's see. I'm not even seeing it step it up. 58 might be too aggressive. Let's close that out. Let's try 60. We just choked it out here. Let's see if this... Okay, look at that. So 58 just choked it, but now 60 is allowing it to at least boot up. And again, I took the core... I stood the core up a little more, and now we're seeing a little more on the core clock do some work. If I can find a happy medium somewhere in the mid-80s to 90s at a significant less power than the 300s of this card, I think it'll be a success, and that's what I'm kind of looking for. I don't want to overcook the card, and I understand that 120 is very tempting on this card, but I don't want to do it at the expense that I'm burning the card up. Now, after we get Thermal pads tested and all that redone. Maybe stepping it up, and where it can take the heat, we can step it up more. But I don't want to. I'm looking for the longevity of the card than the maximum amount of hash rate right away. Okay, we went down a step. Let's see how much power we shaved off on that at 60. This is not half of the. This is almost half of the potential of the card. See what it looks like. Again, that it's the power. It's being really controlled by the power limit. $150, 66, 66.9. And then let's check the. I just want to see what the junction temperature and all that is. 80C. So it's holding about 80C now. 82. Let's look at some numbers. Live scene, total system wattage. About 245. $245 full system. We got the riser down to 66 watts versus 95. And the 12 volt rail is pulling about one. Okay. Interesting. We're still holding about 84C on junction, but it's getting about half of its potential at using about the whole card now is using just under 200 watts. We're at about 190. It says 209 on that, but what I'm reading from the card is 66 plus 130. So that's 96. So we're right under 200 watts actually coming from the card, like as we're measuring it right now. So it's kind of false flagging the actual power right here, but for half. So let's get rid of that. Let's go back in here. I think these settings are fine. I think now we just need to feed it some more power. So let's go to 75 watt or 75% power limit. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, 66 is still more than SATA. I think it's safe to say that 3090s do not run SATAs at all with a 3090. Period. End of story. It has to have a 6-pin GPU 12 volt rel, or it has to have a direct 6-pin from like a breakout board from a PSU. And I'm going to put that as like a huge, description out there. Tweet it, send it up with flares. Do not be using SATA connectors with a 3090s. We're capturing that right now. Okay, we're up to 103 with giving it 75 with the same settings. So it is very power limit adjustable. Like it needs enough to kick up the ability to do some work for you here. Let's see, 50. Let's check the junction temperatures. We're about 96, so it's just under 100 C. Okay. Let's take a look. While we're letting that do its work. Live scene, let's check the power on the full system. So full system's 313. And so the 12 volt rail's pulling 162. Riser is pulling back up to 82, 83. What do you want to call it? 84? I'd call it 84. That's the most I've seen. So that's a total of 162 plus 84. Somebody do some quick math real quick. About that 250, 260 mark. 260 for 103 is not bad, my dudes, for a 3080 or for a 3090. I mean, if it can hold that, looks like it's slowly losing hash rate. So I would say it's probably not going to hold it. It's doing some temp throttling, or it's stepping it down. I would like to see what it ultimately would hold, or if it would just continuously go down. $384 kH to watts. Still keeps losing a little more and more over time here. See if it's if the memory's actually affecting it in that way. I'm just doing a quick cursory check here. I'm seeing how what the mem clock stables out at it. These act a little weird. You can really crank the mem clock, and sometimes they don't do as much. On some of these 3000 series, I've noticed it has like an upper limit. And it's probably a TDP issue. We're going to see what 500 does if it just out of the gate comes out under 100. See if it's really reciprocating that memory performance difference. Yeah, see, I dropped the memory from 850 to 500, and we're still getting the same starting hash rate. Right, so that's a 350 decrease, and I'm still getting the same hash rate, which is interesting to me. Junction temperature is still the same. And it's actually, well, it's down a little bit, but it's still holding the 103 on the next one. I'll wait for one more just to see. Have you seen my videos, Serpent? Sometimes, buddy. I know you were doing some testing with the 3090. $103. Yeah, so it's holding 103 now. It was definitely throttling the memory. Memory junction temperature is 100 C. 98 C. So it will only let you have full TDP. Let's check that. We're gonna spin it up here real quick and just give it a beans test, which will pull full TDP. At 86C with full throttle on the. On 17.4. It's 95.6 on the riser. $189, $190. And $369. We'll just call it 370 on the full system power. And it's still holding 118. Okay, so we're gonna do a plus 100 on the core. Keep the memory where it's at. We're gonna go into Raven and start with that. And see what the full TDP on Raven with a plus 100 is. Let's see what we got. $52.38. Let's take a look at 86 on the junction temperature, 40 on the core. Let's take a look at full system power. $378. Riser power. That's GPU power, almost 200 watts coming from the 12 volt. 194, 195. Oh. We broke 100 on the riser. 101 on a riser, guys. I've never seen it. We broke triple digits on a riser using Ravencoin. Full tilt, 100% power limit, plus 100 core, plus 1000 memory. $101. It's the most I've ever seen. All right. Let's go to somebody spamming in the chat. Still holding around 50 something. All right. Let's cut this in half. And let's take this to where it should be about 75%. All right. I'm not signed into chat right now to ban him. We'll let this go for a second. 1 second. All right, I timed out the dude, and I made Serpent a mod, so go forth and destroy, my dude. All right, let's see. We're at 38. At 75%, which is 78.4 on that, 38. So I don't like that number. I don't like that big of a drop. But let's take a quick look at what that does to the riser and all that. So then 94 on the, or 84 on the riser. $162, 160, yeah, 162. And full system will be close to that too. It'll be close to what it was before on the ETH. It's about 315 full system. All right, so let's try to find a happy medium here. Probably gonna be around 85 watts, I'm assuming. I'm gonna take this to 150. I'm gonna give this to 85. Take this to 850. And let's ship it. What I'm trying to look for is at least 50 or close to it. 48 mega hash on Raven. And again, this is just spot testing. We're just spot testing to see what the riser power draw is on this. There's a lot more that goes into configs when it comes into this. There's a lot more iterative testing that I'd be doing on these. I'm just trying to get some spot testing for you guys here, for you to have an understanding of what different power levels do from a riser draw on this, and what we can see from a full system. Any chance for an ASIC on Kapow? I mean, there's a chance for an ASIC for anything, but they would effectively be building a GPU requirement because of the way Kapow runs off of ProgPow. And when you do the all of the research that was for ProgPow, what would need to be done wouldn't be that much more efficient than a GPU. 47. I'm not liking 47 either. I'm going to just skip past this. We're not even going to record that setting. I'm going to look at 90. So somewhere in here, I'm trying to get it about really close as I can to 50. It is not like there's a pretty, I mean, 47 would be probably okay, but I wanted to see a little higher than that. We're holding about 80C on the MEM temperature. We're holding on 40C, 30C, or 46C on the core temperature. There we go, 51. So that's about what we were getting before. Let's see if we've been able to drop it some. So 51 is that's a healthy number on Raven. Let's take a look now at all right, so we're pulling 190 on that might be really close to what we're pulling. One ninety. And Oh my God, I freaked out for a second. I'm like, are we pulling 130 from the riser? Nope, we're back at a 101. So we didn't really drop anything on the GPU pull at all, even having it at 90. So there's a trigger between 90 100 to 100 90 watts, or sorry, 90 power limit to 100 power limit resulted in the exact same power pull. So at almost the same output level. Oh, let me look. What's the power on? Yeah, 180 or 380 for the full here. So yeah, well, I'll step it back down to 85 power limit, and let's see at that 47 what kind of power it draws down. So there was no change. What we got from that, there was no change between 100% and 90% power limit. We pulled the same exact amount of power for 1 mega hash less. Let's take a look-ski at 85 again. So plus 150, 850, 85. Let's go. There's your junction temperature. There's your normal temperature on your cores. Okay, 47.3. Let's take a look right away at the full system power. $355. And let's take a look at Yep, it's still holding 47. All right, riser power 95. So we knocked off 94. We knocked off 5 there. Not much. And we're down to 180 from 195. $47 point. Okay. One more last test with this, and then we'll try the 3070 here. Back to screen. $80. 1,000. 200. You can do it, my dude. Plus 200 plus 1,000. Let's grab the riser. So system power's down 1.7. That's the 12-volt rail rather, and then let's call it 174. I'm writing down 174. And now riser power's down to 88. And our full system. See here, we're at 41.43. We lost 9 mega hash, 10 mega hash. And we are at 338 full system. And that's for 41.2 mega hash. Okay. Let's do a reset on this. We never did a stock test on Raven on this though. Let me do a stock for stock test. That's one thing I did not do. This is with like fan curves and all that. Let's fire this up real quick. So this is just pure stock. Nothing changed, 3090. Here's your junction temperature and your cores. $51.7. Let's take a look at full power. Uses some juice, my dude, on Raven. That riser, 100 watts. It's crazy. Stop. 3090. Stock 50. 51.7 mega hash on Raven. One card. 51.7 mega hash on the 3090s. Stock, it's using 100 watts on the riser. Sir, 12 volt. 192. 192, yeah. And system power. $180. Or, sorry, 180. 380. Full system. And we're still holding 50, no problems. We get a lot higher junction temperature though if we don't have the fans kicked up. So I'm going to kick the fan all the way to 100% and see if we drop that junction temperature. So we're at 104 junction temperature. Let me bring this back here and see what we get down to. With just everything stock, 100% for, or 100% on the power limit. 51. It's dropping the junction temperature with 100% on that. Yeah, I need to do thermal pads on these. On that memory junction temperature. Awesome. It's dropping now below 100. It'll be, oh no, it popped back up to 102, 100, 100C. We'll let it cool down the card. All right. Back to live sync. So yeah, the 3090 done testing. Took an hour and 17 minutes. All right, my dudes. I'm not going to spend that much more time on this. We took an hour on this. What I'm going to do is put the results of the 3070 in with this one when I go through and do that testing, for I can just blast through it real quick. And then we'll have that like in B-roll for the recap video. The other testing I have to do is on the 6900 XT. We'll have that, guys, for you. Again, look at the description below in this video after I'm done. And you guys will see the mining sheet that it's going to go into. So I'm going to wrap this one up. It's getting kind of late, and we'll make sure that you guys can get to this data. So I wanted to make sure that we could do some testing. I can capture all the stuff that's behind me and put it into the spreadsheet for you, my dudes, and we'll catch you. I'll take a couple questions and then we'll wrap this up. I don't want to go past a minute or an hour 20. If you guys got any questions, let me know, and then we'll get into this. Got a mining case to build still, and I got to do some stuff for the getting ready for the ETH call on Friday. I think everybody's just tired. It's like a Tuesday, and people are like, "My dude, I got to work tomorrow. I'm tired." All right, dudes, I'm going to wrap it up, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thermal pad replacement video, maybe.
What was that?
Thermal pad replacement video. Well, I'll do B-rolls with that, and then we'll put together a